Hi, I'm Samuel C. Spitali, author of How to Win the War on Truth. In this video, we'll look at the truth about Fox News. The idea for Fox News originated in the Nixon White House in a memo entitled A Plan for Putting the GOP on TV News. It was a scheme to film pro-Nixon PR segments disguised as news segments and then distribute them to local TV stations to be broadcast to an unsuspecting American audience. Roger Ailes, Nixon's image consultant, had his fingerprints all over the memo. He thought that if they could manipulate the national conversation and offer a counter-narrative to the fact-finding ethic of journalism, they could thwart another Republican president from being impeached. When Roger Ailes had the opportunity to create such a network with Rupert Murdoch, he employed the tools he'd honed as an image maker. Ailes had no experience in broadcast journalism, but he was adept at crafting paid political programming that could be mistaken for a newscast. This was fine with Murdoch, who wanted to do for cable TV what Rush Limbaugh had done for radio. This collaboration became Fox News. To hide the network's overt bias, Ailes coined the slogan "fair and balanced," appropriating the very language of professional journalism. The conservative dream of establishing a countermedia hinged in large part on convincing the viewers that what they were getting was news and not propaganda. Fair and balanced was a commercial necessity. As Ailes explained to the Hartford Courant in 1998, if you come out and you try to do right-wing news, you're going to die. You can't get away with it. Thus, Ailes had to hide the propaganda outlet under the guise of balanced reporting. Former Fox News anchor Tobin Smith confirms the deception. We made Republican Party propaganda infomercials disguised as talk show segments. The masquerade worked. The older 95% white audience thought they were watching the news and still do. Fox, however, is anything but news. When Ailes ran the network, editorial direction was delivered in daily memos instructing staff how to slant the day's stories to adhere to their political agenda. When Fox reporters attacked Hillary Clinton, they were praised by Ailes himself. But when reporters attacked George W. Bush, they had their loyalty and objectivity questioned. And if a guest commentator failed to toe the party line, like former Bush speechwriter David Frum, they would not be invited back. Even the user agreement on the Fox website clearly states their services are for personal enjoyment and entertainment, whereas CNN's user agreement states they offer information designed for educational and informational purposes. The words educational and informational are missing entirely from the Fox agreement. When Fox host Tucker Carlson was sued for slander in 2020, Fox's own attorneys argued successfully in court that no reasonable viewer could possibly take him seriously, as his statements were not statements of fact. Because the network does almost no original reporting, it has a smaller staff than most news networks and spends less money on news gathering. It has only 3 international bureaus compared to CNN's 27. Nor does it receive, or even nominate itself for, journalism awards, which recognize outstanding achievements in the field. It's no wonder studies show that people who watch Fox News actually know less about current events than those who watch no news at all. PunditFact found only 10% of Fox News statements to be 100% factual. Another report found that 68% of Fox's news stories contained personal opinions, compared to CNN's mere 4%. And one Media Matters investigation found that in 2019, Fox spread misinformation every single day in a 4-month period. Fox lacks the usual broadcast standards and practices department that other networks have to monitor an outlet's content for ethical and legal considerations, in essence self-regulating, which may explain some of the network's shoddy record, such as doctoring photos of journalists they didn't like, giving New York Times reporter Jacques Steinberg a bigger nose and Dumbo ears, and editor Stephen Reddycliffe yellow teeth, dark eye circles, and a receding hairline. Or claiming that Trump cut aid to 3 Mexican countries, or misrepresenting a Black Lives Matter protest in Seattle by showing an image of a burning city in Minnesota from a George Floyd protest, or a San Diego affiliate once running a story about a rape charge while showing a photo of President Obama instead of the suspect. In 2020, even Wikipedia decided Fox News was no longer a reliable source for political and scientific information. Real news tells viewers what to think about, not what to think like Fox does. But Fox News' key propaganda giveaway is not its erroneous coverage or opinion journalism minus the journalism, but its reliance on negative emotions to manipulate the audience. Traditional newscasters were once trained not to show emotion when delivering the news, but to be objective and detached from their subject matter. Think Dan Rather, Walter Cronkite, and Edward R. Murrow. Hell, even cartoon journalists like The Simpsons' Kent Brockman or Family Guy's Trisha Takanawa are monotone and stoic, just like professional journalists are trained to be. Fox News, however, is a form of tabloid entertainment in the guise of news. The anchors are not paid to be detached from their subject matter. They're paid to convey emotion with each segment. Most of the talking heads are not credible journalists, but shock jocks playing journalists on TV. Their emotion is always negative and always related to outrage, which is the Fox News brand and business model. Just watch any given program on the network, past or present, and you can identify the negative emotions underpinning their delivery. As Adolf Hitler said, "I use emotion for the many and reason for the few." That's because emotions override reason, and nothing overrides reason more than negative emotions, a hallmark of successful propaganda. Manipulating emotions is vital for a partisan news outlet. Since biased thinking is illogical, the outlet can't appeal to intellect or reason, since the glaring lies and faults will be quickly uncovered. In order to conceal the shoddy reporting, emotions have to be used as misdirection and distraction. That way, the news consumer will be too busy feeling enraged or frightened to notice that they are being fed suspect information. Through emotional manipulation, Fox has become the most successful propaganda outlet in the U.S. According to historian Kurt Anderson, it has effectively trained 2 generations of Americans to disbelieve facts at odds with their opinions. Holocaust historian Christopher R. Browning calls Fox America's own Ministry of Propaganda because it routinely employs 3 of Adolf Hitler's key propaganda directives: appeal to negative emotions, repeat falsehoods, and direct anger at an adversary. Fox's emotional manipulation may be damaging to democracy, but it's been pretty good for business. The network earns around $3 billion a year and is valued at over $20 billion. However, in 2023, Fox agreed to pay $787.5 million to Dominion Voting Systems for spreading false claims of voter fraud during the 2020 election. As court documents revealed, the network knowingly lied to their audience because after years of feeding them lies, they discovered that telling the truth now would alienate their loyal viewers, thereby compromising their business model. The influence of Fox on news is undeniable. TV news has become more sensational, more emotional, more opinionated, more partisan, more tribal, and more divisive. It's helped transform politics into entertainment and sport and created an alternate reality where lies go unchallenged and inconvenient facts get ignored in the name of corporate profits. To read more, check out my book, How to Win the War on Truth, and be sure to like and subscribe. Special thanks to Alan Wincup for the illustrations, and thank you for watching.